Hello America, it's Pastor Larry out doing a late morning walk and talk. It was nice and cloudy this morning when we got up, but now the sun's coming out and it's warming up. Well, it's official, everybody. America's goose is cooked. After the debate Thursday night, hello, nobody's home in Joe Biden's mind. Okay? He did a terrible job, folks. The man is cognitively deteriorated. Alright? And the media's been lying to you the whole 3.5 years that he's been president. Listen, I'm not a big Trump fan. I can't believe these two guys are the best that America has to offer for leadership and presidency, but I'll have to give President Trump the upper hand. I mean, think about this, folks. He's a billionaire, but he didn't become a billionaire by being a politician, where all these congressmen and presidents, as they go to Washington D.C. poor and they come out rich, millionaires. Okay, so I don't want to hash all that. The point is, Biden is unfit to be president of the United States. That's clear. Okay, and it's been clear, except the legacy media has been lying to you the whole time, gaslighting you, deceiving you. And I don't know what's the matter with the people on the left. They must be self-hypnotized, self-brainwashed or something. I don't know. Because they want to keep him as the president. You know, there's a class of people there that are so full of hate that they would rather keep Joe Biden as president than kick him to the curb and start over. And he had a meeting with his family, and the family all decided, no, we're going to stay in the race. So they decided to do what's best for them and not for the nation. And that's the whole thing. These politicians, these corrupt politicians, are destroying our nation, folks. Okay? And they're more, they care more about their own welfare and their own influence and their own, they're not patriots, okay? A patriot is somebody who's willing to sacrifice themselves for the good of the people, for the good of the nation. These are not patriots. These are oligarchs. These are people that would put you in jail if you didn't take a vaccine. If they could get away with it. All right? So, listen, I've been a pastor, preacher, Christian for many years, since the 80s, okay? Started my ministry in 96. My preaching ministry in 96. I've been studying the Bible a long time, and I've been a big proponent of the book of Revelations. And what I see happening, I see the United States as the woman, the mystery Babylon, the mother harlot in Revelation 17, okay? When you read that chapter 17 and 18, the United States fits that description better than any nation currently in our world for several reasons, okay? But the main thing I want to point to is that she rides upon the red dragon, and the red dragon has 7 heads. The 7 heads represent 7 continents, all right? And the dragon, I believe, is communist China. Okay, Satan is the god of this world, and he controls the nations of this world, and the only exception is Israel and the United States. But the United States has turned its back on God and has become an abomination to God for its promotion of transgenderism, homosexuality, abortion, and all of its murders through war, etc., etc., etc. Okay, but I'm not getting into all those things. But the point I want you to realize is that this dragon has risen up into the world in the last, since the Nixon administration, because they went there and made a deal with China, and now our economic power has moved to China, and China, now the United States, the mother harlot, the woman, and she's a mother harlot for many different reasons, but again, I don't want to get into all that. I don't have time. The mother harlot, the woman, the whore, she rides upon the back of the dragon, okay? And and then there's 10 crowns upon the heads of the dragon, the 7 heads, which, if you look at what's happening in our world economically, China and Russia are both, technically communist nations, and which is, their color is red, and they are working together to form the BRICS alliance, a new economic paradigm to control the world. And right now, the BRICS nations, I think, sit at 9 nations, and there's 10 crowns that sit upon the heads of the dragon, and they are given power with the dragon for 1 hour. Okay, so to me, that tells me, or it looks like, the BRICS nations. All right, there's going to be one more nation that's going to join the BRICS, and these 10 kings are going to hate the whore, and they're going to destroy her. That's why I'm saying our days are numbered. We are making enemies of almost every nation in the world. I mean, the Muslims as a whole hate us because, they call us the great white Satan. And but now we're fighting this proxy war in Ukraine, which is a joke, and they are bombing Russian cities with American-made weapons, which is infuriating the Russians. So again, this is turning the BRIC nations, or these alliances of nations, against the United States. All right. Okay, so with this current administration and their reckless policies of an open border, letting in millions of people that are coming across our border, most of them are not even vetted. The federal government passed a law called Real ID, in which they mandated all the states to have a uniform ID. You remember that? And we all had to show our birth certificates to get a license. You remember that? Well, the federal government is violating their own laws, people. And you got a Supreme Court that won't rein in the government. That's their job. The Supreme Court's job is to rein in the government. So why is all of this happening? This is all destroying our nation, our sovereignty, our country. All of these policies over the $35 trillion deficit. So as I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, so they have this Real ID program, that law that the government instituted, that all the states are supposed to be in compliance with. But the federal government is breaking their own laws by letting in all these millions of people, not verifying who they are through birth certificates, etc., etc., that we all had to use to prove who we were to get our license. And then you have a Supreme Court that will not keep the government in check. They just ruled against our First Amendment right by allowing the government to collaborate with these social media platforms to censor our free speech. And everything that they fact-checked and everything they said was false information concerning COVID during that pandemic is all turning out to be what we were saying was true, like the masks that that don't protect you, the lockdowns that doesn't help us, the school closures that hurting the kids, the ineffective vaccines that doesn't keep you from getting the virus, all that stuff that we were trying to get out, us naysayers who were trying to question the official narrative, we were censored by our own government, which is a violation of the free speech, and the Supreme Court just sided with the federal government. So the Supreme Court is compromised. The federal government is compromised. Our country is compromised, and we are spinning downward, and it won't be long before the BRICS nations are used by God to judge America for its wickedness. All right, I know that's not a very happy message, but why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this so that you can prepare and that you can make the right choices. I mean, talk to your Democrat friends. If you can wake them up and help them come to their senses and realize what's happening to our nation, then more power to you, but they're not listening, and the government is censoring, and the big techs companies are working in cahoots with the government. And so I see this election being stolen one way or another, just like the 2020 election. These 51 CIA or intelligent operatives signed a letter telling you that the Hunter laptop was Russian disinformation, which was all a big lie. Okay? So how many more lies are you going to believe before you wake up? Now, this is either people are being willingly ignorant or they're deceived by the God of this world. One of the two. That's if they're willingly ignorant, then maybe there's hope they can wake up in time. But if we don't get our country back on track, our freedom is gone. They're gonna. I mean, look at Joe Biden. He's not going to step down from running as president. And then that that nutcase of a Kamala Harris is in second in line to replace him. Oh my gosh, you ever hear that woman? She talks like a word salad. Oh my goodness, people. Pain and suffering is coming. And the only people who are going to be spared are going to be the righteous. Okay? That's my prediction. If they're going to try to do everything they can to steal the 2024 election, just like they did the 2020 election. And people are not going to tolerate it. There's going to be protests. And then they're going to clamp down on our constitutional rights because the federal government, because the Supreme Court has already given permission to do that through their anti-constitutional rulings. And MAGA, patriots, conservatives, and Christians will be persecuted. And the United States will be judged. All right, it's Pastor Larry. Just giving you my 2 cents, folks. You can take it or leave it. This video won't get out to see very many people anyhow because YouTube shadow bans me. But I'll make a try. I'll put it out on some other platforms that I use, and maybe enough people will hear it, get it out, spread it around. Okay? I'm telling you, folks, the U.S. is the mother harlot that rides the back of the dragon in Revelations 17 and 18. All right, we'll see you on the next one. God bless.